Hello divas, dudes, and dolls, I'm Kara Couture, and welcome back to my prim, proper, and probably a prominent one-day review show, Very Slay, where we go over each and every main stage runway look on Drag Race Thailand Season 3. And this week we have yet another instance of World of Wonder trying its darndest to personally kill me. We have, for the third time this year, a ball with the full cast. Why? Why do you do this? Care to explain? But on Thailand this week, it was an ode to pageantry. So we had a swimsuit category being swimsuit in outer space. We had a futuristic Thai national costume category, and then an evening gown that they had to create out of loincloth prints and traditional Thai materials. On some of them, I have no idea how they would work with. So I was curious to see the overall results. As always, when I go over these looks, if I think it got the job done, but didn't blow me away, we give it an okay. If I absolutely adored it, we give it a slay. And if I think it was a miss, we give it a nay. And that's all in efforts to find my weekly slay of the day, my favorite individual look of the whole episode. Whichever look takes the top spot will go head to head up against Gigi Ferocious's promo look to become our current slay of the season. And I will be illustrating whichever look holds that top spot once we have crowned a winner in a couple of months. If you want sneak peeks of that illustration along with any other illustration piece that I'm working on, you can find that over on my Patreon starting at the $3 tier level. Episode discussion posts will also be going over there, but you can access that just by joining as a member for free. And then if you want to just support the channel in general, liking, commenting, subscribing, all those lovely little things, that's another really easy way to help keep the content coming and make this something that I can actually feasibly do. So we've still got a ways to go before I can really justify making the full jump into committing full time to making content over here. You know what to do if you want to see that happen. As always, when it comes to these ball episodes, we are going to go queen by queen instead of category by category, just because it makes it so much easier for me for editing. So first up, we are going to start things off with Nana Sfera. Her swimsuit look, I think the cord stuff is really cool. I like the helmet. I think the idea is there. What I hate about this is the cut of the panty. It's so high in the front and in the back. It's not realistic. No real woman would wear a swimsuit that's cut that high. That would just be right up the pussy. And when you have a padded ass that's fake, you have like no definition in the back, and then it allows the back of it to kind of slide to the side, and then it just looks really, really off. I think the top of it is really impressive though. I think it's got something interesting going on. Her futuristic outfit, this is phenomenally gorgeous to me. I love the hair. I love the scale of it. I love the idea of her being like hammering together herself. I think it's a really, really solid look. And to me, this immediately reads as Thai and futuristic. So this look definitely, I think, really earned her her top spot. And then her third look, I think her use of color is really smart here, and the way she implemented the bowls that she broke up and then created some kind of weird shapes through the skirt. I think it was interesting. It moved in a really cool way. I love this hair. I do wish that it wasn't so like heavy in the front, because there's a point where it does kind of like push forward. I wish it would have just been more like swoopy and just straight up. Really overall impressive package. And I am not at all mad at a win for her. This package overall, I am gonna give a slay. Even though I think there are some shortcomings with that first look, the other two were really, really strong. Then up next, we have Gigi Ferocious. This first look, she's got like the feet flippers on top of the shoe. It's silly. I think it works, but it's an odd choice. I actually really like this. She went with more of like a wetsuit and this kind of like scuba gear idea, and the giant ponytail that's like full of little balls. I thought that was kind of cool. It was overall not like a super impressive look for me. I think the silhouette of the bodysuit is cool though, and I think it was interesting to see something that's more of like a conservative take on swimwear. Her second look, where she is in all gold, lovely color on her, but again, not blown away by it. I think the braiding work in the headpiece is the most interesting thing of the whole piece. The coat's fine. I appreciate that she's going for this kind of like Muay Thai kickboxer. I like the belt. I like that little nod to something that's a little more sporty, but again, wasn't super blown away by it. Her third look, the gown that she made, I actually liked the overall shape of it. I thought that the cutouts throughout the sides were really interestingly placed. I liked the cut of the skirt, and I think given that she had kind of a Christmassy color palette to work with, she did something really interesting with it. I do see why she was safe though. Overall, I'm gonna give her package just an okay. She was among the higher ones in that group for me. Then up next we have Frankie Wonga, who's in this little black leathery swimsuit moment. I think the makeup was really cool. I'm not a big fan of the hair. I think it's just a bit shake and go for my liking. And I think her swimsuit is more successful than Nana Sphera's because the cut of the brief on the bottom is actually like a decent swimsuit cut. And it works with having like a fake body going on for drag. I think it's fine, but it wasn't like a home run or anything. What was like an absolute grand slam of a look though to keep the baseball things going was her second look. This futuristic look, phenomenal. Like miles above everything else this episode for me. This was so immaculate. And what I appreciated so much with this is that she took something that was like so old world historical Thailand, the idea of like the cyclical nature of time that it comes with this look, where what's old becomes new again. The old historical figures are coming back, but now they're like cybernetic, is really interesting. And having all of the circuitry and the wiring built into the look too. I didn't notice it at first when I watched the show. I didn't notice it until I looked at the photos of this look. But my God, this look, top marks. I think you could have justifiably put her in the top for this, but I think her other two looks were kind of weaker comparatively. I think it may have shot her up the rankings within the safe crew, but I think it wasn't enough to push her into the top 3, and it wouldn't have been enough to justifiably give her a win because it was so much stronger than the other two looks. Her third look, I liked what she did with the dress. I think the silhouette of it's fine. What I was really impressed with was what she managed to get accomplished with the bowls, because she had to like hammer the shit out of these to alter the shape. I think it worked. I didn't think that the prosthetic work was really all that great. I didn't think that the illusion of the skin on the top of the dress really worked all that well, but I appreciate her really swinging for the fences and going for 3 very, very distinct looks. I'm truly going for ET in this ET evening gown category. I'm gonna give her overall package a soft slay. That second look alone though is such a masterpiece of a look, even if it was dragged down by the other two. Up next we have bottom 2 diva Spicy Sunshine. Her swimsuit look, I think there's something there. I think the idea of the colors works. I wasn't crazy about the eye makeup in this first look though. To me, it just did not work. I will say the orange blush does though. And what didn't work at the same time, again, it's the cut of this panty. I don't like this like slingshot look for drag. I just don't think that it works. The proportions of the body get thrown off so much when you add padding into it and then a breastplate and everything else on these like bigger shoulders. It just doesn't look like it's to scale in the right way. Her second look, this futuristic one, I think actually works better as a swimwear look than the first one did from like the waist up. I loved this headpiece thing. I thought it was actually kind of fun. And I liked the detailing with the line work through everything. I thought it was really visually appealing. I just think that doing a harem pant out of leather was kind of a weird choice with this look, even though the pants are cool. I like the pants, just not with this. And then her third look, the one she made, from like here up, something is there. The rest of it, miss. I hate the skirt. The skirt's not a flattering cut. It's just so straight up and down. She literally took fabric, wrapped it around, and then just like made a tube. And not that there's anything wrong with a tube dress. They get the job done sometimes. But here it just didn't. The colors don't make sense together for me. I don't like the hair with this. I don't like the makeup here. I just think this is an overall weak look. Her package for me is going to be an A. Then up next we have Charavan. Her swimwear look, I didn't understand why she had a bodysuit on underneath the swimsuit. Unless she's doing like a conservative swimwear moment, I think that would work more. But this doesn't read as a swimsuit to me. And what elements of it read as space, I don't think read as space enough. Delivery of it is fine. The martini glass is fine. It's okay, whatever. I just didn't totally get what she was going for. Her future look though, I think is absolutely stunning. Her best look so far, in my opinion. I loved the headpiece. I loved the idea of this and what it was a reference to in Thai culture. I thought the overall silhouette of this was just really, really nice. The detailing's great. I was a big fan of this one. And then the look she made, this hair is horrible. I really hate it a lot. I think the dress is fine. It's just not flattering. I think she's got one or two too many things going on for it. I think the hoop is an interesting idea, but I just think that the base dress that she created to attach all that fabric to isn't super flattering, and it's just not great. Just not great at all. Her overall package though, I will give an okay to. Up next we have Zeppi, and I have to say her swimsuit for me was the best in the category. She took the idea of swimming but in like the stars as the idea, and I think that was the most sensible approach to this theme. I think a lot of them were doing like, I'm going to a hot spring on another planet, or I'm going to a resort on another planet. And this was the one that made the most sense. I think the idea of taking it into more of a like spacesuit direction works more. Unless you're gonna go like super sci-fi Barbarella-y with it. And to me, nobody really did that. There was maybe one or two that were close, but for me, this was definitely the most successful in the first category. Her future look with the elephant fabric motif, it's a bodysuit with some caging attached to it. What is stunning about this though is the way she performed this, and I love this hair. Now, normally this type of hair, I think for some folks would fall in line with like the sculptural stuff that I don't like, but this feels more traditional, like with the weaving techniques. This is giving more like hair show hair, where the proportions of this work for me. But I think it is of her looks the weakest of the three. The look that she made, I'm glad that she added the little things with the lottery board on the side for the arms. I think it made a really different and interesting silhouette as a whole. The hair, it's more of that sculptural thing I don't like, but because it's more scaled down and pared back and it's a shorter hairstyle, I do think it works. I wasn't mad at it. I think she was also very deserving of being in the top this week. This is a slay. Up next, we have Sam Fusari. Now, her first look, while actually a swimsuit, I kinda hated. She did two of the biggest things that I can't stand. And that's when drag queens who wear breastplates wear stuff that doesn't cover the seams of the breastplate. And then on top of that, also have cutouts on the sides where you can see their tights and where that ends. I hate that. Also, why do you have wings? You're swimming. They're not water wings like little floaties. That would be more cute. There's sometimes she does stuff that I think is really successful, and there's other times she does stuff like this that I just think she's just doing shit for shit's sake, you know? Like, it doesn't really make sense. Her second look, I think, is actually really gorgeous. I think for the three, it is definitely the most successful. The headpiece is great. I actually really like the cut of the bodysuit. I loved how, like, architecturally designed the cone tits were. Like, just on their own, they were quite stunning. And the makeup's great. I think overall, definitely the best look we've seen aside from her entrance look so far. The look she made, I think she implemented the giant bowls she was given as best as she could, because she just literally sewed fabric over them and just had them as these like giant wings. I like the hair. I think what she did with this like little headpiece through the hair was kind of cool, but the rest of this outfit is just like fabric draped in really weird ways that I don't particularly care for. I'm gonna give her overall package an okay. The first look was a miss, the second look was great, the third look is in the middle. I think it balances out. Then up next we have the pumper of the season on the runway, we have Godland. Her swimsuit look, I actually kind of liked it. I like it again like Zeppi, she went more with a spacesuit idea. I think this kind of has a bit of a Barbarella energy to it, but in a way that's cutesier. It's not as like campy sci-fi sexy. I liked the cut of everything with this. I definitely think there were some things that could have been refined a little bit more. In general, I thought this was a really solid look. And I was kind of surprised she was in the bottom. But when you look at her futuristic look, I don't think anything about this really reads as futuristic, nor does it really read Thai. So I think that's where it misses. I think the wings are cool. I think the cut of the skirt is interesting, but I don't really see the execution of her concept here. And I think that's what ultimately put her in the bottom. And then her third look, I love this hairstyle on her. I actually think it's really flattering. I like the little piece of the bang that comes down in the front. I just don't really think that this all goes together all that well. What she did with the top is fine. She literally just took two of the things that she had and just stuck them around her and made like a little poncho. I don't really think that she needed the purple one in the front. I do get that it like kind of goes into like her glove details and the hair. Like she doesn't really feel present to me. I think that's where it falls flat. So I'm gonna give her overall package an okay. Then up next we have Shotgun. Makeup in this first look, amazing. Everything else, horrible. I hate, again, it's another one of these queens who did a look full of cutouts where you see all of the tights, all of the undergarments poking through, and there's parts where like the fabric is bunched up, like around her corset. No, it's just a huge miss of a look for me. Her second look I think is actually really interesting. I like the silhouette of the pants, and I like what she did with the nails and the makeup, the earrings as well, on the outside attached to this hood. My biggest thing with it is I don't really like the bodysuit, like the base bodysuit underneath the whole thing, but there's an idea there at least that I think is really interesting, and the headpiece is cool. Her third look, again, a really interesting headpiece. I liked what she did with it. I like that she went with this like hot, fiery concept. I think it really works. I think the treatment of it is successful. I think mixing that with the color of the fabric she had makes the most sense. The makeup is great here. Of the 3 looks, I would say this one is the most put together, cohesive. And I like that she had like the little gold leaf detailing throughout it because it kind of pulled back the second look into the overall universe that all 3 of these looks are from. I think she could have been in the top had the first look not been so dog shit. So it's gonna be an okay for me. Then we have Sarasha, our first eliminated queen of the season. This first look, it's a nude bodysuit with metallic shit stuck to it. I don't like the makeup. I get what she was going for with like the silver mouthpiece, but if you're going to do something that's like to define a part of your face is a different mechanical part than the rest of your face, you need to have definition there. She doesn't have definition, so it's just like a silver chin. It doesn't work. Her second look, I think, is easily the most successful of the 3. I quite like the silhouette, the visor, the hairstyle, all of that. But in general, it's just not that impressive when you look at some of the other things, and I don't really think it reads as innately Thai immediately as some of the other looks on the runway. The look that she made, oh, this is rough. This is real rough. I appreciate what she tried to do. Girly, this is, oh, I hate the hair with this. The bow just stuck on the front. Just feels like she's trying to hide poor construction of the rest of the look. It's just really not great, and I hate the makeup here. It's a nay. And then finally we have Benza Diva. I was actually really happy to see in the top this week. I loved her first look. There was something that, like I said earlier, not a lot of people did somewhat of a Barbarella thing with this, but this kind of has that 70s sci-fi Barbarella feel to it. I really liked the cut of the swimsuit on her. I liked what she did with this back piece, a bit like Super Sentai. She has cutouts, but she has the cutouts placed in the right area to not show off all of the tights. So she got the job done. She did it successfully. Her future look, I think, is interesting. I love the cybernetic headpiece. I think that's the coolest part of the whole thing. I hate the fact, though, that there's no bottom. She's just all top. She's just all silhouette up here and corset, and then it's like the look just went out the window after that. Literally all she needed was like a silver panty and she would have been fine. This last look, I love what she did with these fans. There's something about the scale of this headpiece and this like crest she's made and the shoulder piece and the drape of all this, the makeup, the detailing, even the way she performed it. There was something about it that was so regal. Like it kind of gave me that if in the world of Marvel Comics, there was a country like Wakanda that instead of being like based around African cultures, was based around Thailand, and she was sort of the Angela Bassett like Queen Mother role in that country. That's what this gives me, like hands down. She has this like the same way that like Wakanda pulls like Afrofuturism. I think she does this with Thai aesthetics, which was the second category, but I think she does it more successfully here without all the tech stuff. There's something about this that feels very in line with that, and there's something really graphic that I'm really drawn towards. I think the prints are all really interestingly used. I think it all makes sense, and I love the fact that Trans Diva gets a trans color palette, so I'm a little biased towards that. I think there are definitely some finishing issues with the drape on the skirt and the overall construction of the garment itself. Her package was definitely a slay. And that is all 33 of those looks, and now it's time to pick my slay of the day, which I think, hands down, without a shadow of a doubt, has to go to Frankie Wanga's futuristic Thai look, because my god. Maybe I just have a thing for looks with multiple faces, because we've got Kiana's Peria look that took Slay of the Season for Philippines Season 3. It's gonna be hard to beat this one. I genuinely would not be surprised if this look stays the best look of the season, because it's that good, and it's only episode 2. So I'm very excited to see what we're going to get next week, and I'm also very excited to only have to talk about 10 looks instead of 33. So we will see you in the next one. Be sure as always to like, comment, and subscribe, all those lovely little things, and we will see you in the next one. So be sure to go out there, y'all, and stay kind, stay queer, and make sure that your day is very slay.